Hillary just slapped with a wrongful death lawsuit, and Clinton thought it would never happen to her. The loss of American lives at the embassy in Benghazi, Libya, was a terrible tragedy that few believe could not have been avoided, if only those responsible for issuing orders to send readily available help had done so when help was requested. We've all heard about the claims from Special Operations SEAL teams that wanted to go help the ambassador, and the soldiers acting as his bodyguards were ordered to stand down by persons unknown in the Obama administration. Believe me, we all have our suspicions about who the unknown person or persons might be. The parents of two of the soldiers killed do believe they know who is responsible and are filing suit against that person to get some legal relief. From Fox News Politics. The parents of two of the four Americans who died in the Benghazi attack in 2012 filed a lawsuit Monday against Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, alleging her reckless handling of classified information contributed to their deaths. The case was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia by Larry Klayman of Freedom Watch USA on behalf of Patricia Smith, the mother of Sean Smith, and Charles Woods, the father of Tyrone Woods, for allegedly wrongfully causing the death of their sons, as well as for defamation and intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit suggests that Clinton's use of a private email server contributed to the deaths of Smith and Woods, adding that terrorists were able to obtain the whereabouts of Ambassador Christopher Stevens and thus the U.S. State Department and covert and other government operations in Benghazi, Libya, and subsequently orchestrate, plan, and execute the now infamous September 11, 2012 attack. Having used a secret private email server that we now know was used to communicate with Ambassador Christopher Stevens with confidential and classified government information, and which we also now know was likely hacked by hostile adversaries such as Iran, Russia, China and North Korea aligning with terrorist groups, it is clear that Hillary Clinton allegedly negligently and recklessly gave up the classified location of the plaintiff's sons, resulting in a deadly terrorist attack that took their lives, Klayman said in a statement announcing the suit. In addition to the wrongful death and negligence charges named in the suit, the parents also claim that Clinton defamed them in statements to the media, according to court documents. During her campaign for president, defendant Clinton has negligently, recklessly, and/or maliciously defamed plaintiffs by either directly calling them liars, or by strongly implying that they are liars, in order to protect and enhance her public image and intimidate and emotionally harm and silence them to not speak up about the Benghazi attack on at least 4 separate occasions, Klayman wrote in his complaint. The court finds that Secretary Clinton was acting in the scope of her employment when she transmitted the emails that are alleged to give rise to her liability, Jackson wrote in her 29-page opinion. The untimely death of plaintiff's sons is tragic, and the court does not mean to minimize the unspeakable loss that plaintiffs have suffered in any way. But when one applies the appropriate legal standards, it is clear that plaintiffs have not alleged sufficient facts to rebut the presumption that Secretary Clinton was acting in her official capacity when she used her private email server. For the purposes of the suit, it does not matter whether Secretary Clinton used a private email server lawfully or unlawfully. Instead, the relevant inquiry is whether Secretary Clinton's electronic communications with State Department personnel about official business during her tenure were within the scope of her employment as the head of the State Department, the judge said. Her actions, communicating with other State Department personnel and advisors about the official business of the department, fall squarely within the scope of her duty to run the department and conduct the foreign affairs of the nation as Secretary of State. Patricia Smith has previously spoken out against Clinton, most recently at the Republican National Convention in July. Hopefully this will finally be the lawsuit that takes her down.